that most of the front end alignment shops do not like doing old stuff like this with shims. They'll do anything else, but they don't like doing shims, and they're really pricey and really expensive for front end alignments. And you got to bring your own shims, which ain't a problem with me taking old trucks and stuff apart. I've got poundage of shims, but I'm trying to figure out a way to go ahead and just do a front end alignment myself with a little help from some friends. So if you guys have like a at-home kit or like something you can buy that's not expensive on the internet, let me know, because we got to get a front end alignment on, because it's a hair off. You can feel it in the steering wheel when you're driving up and down the neighborhood. Got to build exhaust. But now it's just a bunch of little stuff. And I'm hoping to have it up and running going for cruise nights, especially Muldrow's cruise night in August. So you guys have any questions?
Scanlon says, "I see the Mustang behind you."
Yes, Ms. Scanlon. How we doing?
Let's see here. We got my son turned 15, and we have his great grandpa's 71 Chevy truck. I had drove in high school. We are going to get it ready for him. 3 generations. I had him watch your videos as inspiration. That
is so cool. I mean, that really is. I mean, I'm hoping to someday to give some stuff to my grandsons. That, I mean, you know, and try to keep it on. I mean, get them when they're young. I mean, when they're 15 years old, they're motivated, and I'm very happy and proud to be able to say that I could help. There's going to be a lot of great stuff coming up in the future. One other big thing in news is that Miss Christina gave me the okay. She thinks it's a good idea. We're going to build a new shop because we are, like I said, we are out of space. So we're hoping to have the pad poured middle of August. I'm waiting for next week to see if the Fed drops interest rates, and then if they do, then we're going to start the financing process. But in the meantime, I did sign up for the first time ever a GoFundMe. It'll be in the link in the bottom if you guys want to help out with the build. That would be great. I'd really appreciate it. But yeah, we're gonna start the process of building a new shop starting in August, and I'm gonna video everything and walk through about the ups and downs, and the little pitfalls and what it costs, and how you can like try to do it on the cheaper, but still have the best quality possible, still get it as cheap as possible. And that'll be coming up this summer or late summer, and hopefully hoping to be making content out of it late winter, early spring of next year. But like a concrete pad's got to be poured, and it's got to cure for a month before you put anything on it. And because I want to buy a lift, which will be a huge step forward for this channel, and some new tools and some cleaning things like a big industrial ultrasonic cleaner and a big sandblaster, and maybe even somehow figuring out how to make a blasting room to be able to get a body in there and get some sandblasting done. What's the problem? Is there a problem?
Let's see. Bookie Bear says he's getting no sound. He's wondering if it's just him or is it everyone?
Okay. Can you guys hear me? You guys hear me okay? I need a sound check.
Corey says yes, he can hear.
Okay, then I think it's you, Boogie Bear, Uncle David. Oh, I want to talk about something right here. This was given to me today by a dear old friend, Larry. And this is a magnetic base. This is old school as they come. A magnetic base for a dial indicator for messing with engines and stuff. And this thing is, I guarantee you, this thing is older than I am. But it works. I mean, the craftsmanship involved with older tools, you just don't get it like this anymore. I can guarantee you, I wouldn't, it's a push on, push off for the magnetic, push on for the magnetic, But like this piece right here, it's this one small little, and it'll do whatever you want. But you put the squish to it, and it don't move. I mean, that's all metal, no plastic. That's old school as they come. I don't know what brand that is, but I mean, for a magnetic base for a dial indicator, that is as cool as a classic tool as they come. I mean, I'm sorry, I am learning that the older stuff is just so much better. It really is. The quality of the craftsmanship involved is so much better with the older stuff. I'm seriously thinking about just doing yard sales just to find tools. I mean, I had a gentleman that lives up the street from here in our addition, and he was selling parts, and he had stuff that was 40 years old still running like a top, and they're better quality than anything they're producing new. I'm sorry, that's the way I feel about tools these days, that the old stuff is better. Tell me if you agree. All right, we got a question? All right. So, but like I said, I don't have much left to do on the truck. I can, if you'd like to see the seat, I'll show you the seat. We can do that for you. All right. So you know about all that part. But anyways, look at here. Look at how nice it is. And watch this. Look at that. Oh my goodness. Look at that. This thing is beautiful. It turned out so nice. You know, I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. And I did it all for less than $250. And so here's the list. We got bleed brakes. We got to fab the dash and heater cable. We got to put that heater cable on. Tighten some door bolts, window felts we're going to be doing. Need battery tightener. Let me see. Carpet, door and interior plastics. Back glass lock. Front turn signals mounted, and a dash pad. And that's pretty much what we got left. I'm thinking about giving another coat of paint. But other than that, she starts and runs, and you guys know she does great. So that's the update on the truck.
Still gasket on top of the cowl. What that back seals back the hood? What direction does it go on the square body?
Say that one more time. Say that to me one more time.
The seal gasket on top of the cowl.
Seal gasket on top of the cowl.
Back of the hood.
Back of the hood.
What direction does it go in? Does it go in on the square body?
What direction does it go in on a square body? It kind of forms, as you can see with the grill. You know, it's got like a little bit of a moon to it. It just follows it. I mean, the holes are in there with they should just have a press and play. If you buy a new one or if you have an older one, it should just press in the holes and just put them where they go. And it basically follows the curve of the windshield. Oh, and if I'm talking a little funny tonight, I had to go to the dentist today at about 5 o'clock. I had a cap that came off, and I had to have the dentist put it, cement it back on. So I'm still numb from about here around to here. So if I talk funny, if I drool on myself, I'm sorry. I still got Novocaine in me. But it doesn't hurt. Well, I have a question for you. Okay, since we're sitting here talking, and Christina's chomping a bit, she wants to go watch the Oklahoma game. But I'm going to build, the shop I'm going to start with is going to be, I'm going to pour a 40 by 40 pad. Okay, 40 foot by 40 foot. And I'm going to put 30 by 40 under roof for shop space, which will triple my floor space. This shop right here is 20 by 30. So if I do 30 by 40, I've under roof, I've tripled my floor space with that. And I'm also going to do a 10-foot lean-to on the back that I can put my air compressor out on. I can put I've got a whole wall of parts, body panels and hoods and fenders and everything that's sitting outside the building here that Miss Christina doesn't like. You know, ladies don't like that kind of stuff in their yard, that I'm going to put back there and have a place to park the lawnmower and all that kind of good stuff. But I'm torn between, I know what I need, and that would be great. But everybody that I talk to says, you know, when you decided square footage, when you get it built, you always want more. So tell me what you guys think. Do you think I should stick with the just doubling the floor space of this, because it'll be twice the size of this, and I'm going to still work out of this part, and but where I'm putting it right behind this building, which there's 100 yards of yard. You know, I have 4 acres, so I could always build on in the end. But I'm just right now, I think I'm just going to start with a 30 by 40 with a couple roll ups and a 4-post lift, and go from there and just see how much great stuff we can build in the future, and still have these Thursday night lives. I mean, I really, you know, if you guys have any suggestions about these lives, answer it down below, because I mean, I'm here to help out. All my stuff is how to do things, and all I want to do is just keep these things going and not lose them to time and rust everything. You know, we're saving a few, we're sacrificing a few to save the many. Okay. So I don't see myself, until the day that they put me under, stop playing with these trucks and start playing with hot rods and doing what I've always loved to do. It's really been fantastic.
One side is open on my 76. It went away. See, have you ever redone a 4-speed?
No, I've never cracked the case on a 4-speed. That's even older than I am. Now, back in the day in Votech, we had a bus that the transmission was always messed up. We worked on that sucker almost every day. For the 2 years I was in Votech, we worked on that bus. And you guys that went Votech with me know about it. Randy Lowe and all the guys, you guys know that was ever in that shop, that we worked on that damn bus all the time. Okay, so I've been in there with the forks and everything, and I've done the work, but I've never took a 4-speed apart. That's above my wheelhouse, but I'm not against the idea of doing it. Like, rebuild a transmission. Uncle Mike, I'm going to talk to Uncle Mike into come over, and we're going to rebuild a transmission one of these days, because he knows how. He's forgotten more about rebuilding transmissions than I ever learned. But with his help and him telling me what to do, we're going to rebuild a transmission. But just for a 4-speed, I know how to set them up, bell housing, you know, pressure plate, clutch, all that kind of stuff. That part's the easy part, but I've never actually broken a case apart and rebuilt and took one completely apart, both shafts out and all the gears. I've never done that. So, but it's again, one of those lost arts that a lot of people just aren't being taught anymore.
Okay, Bookie Bear says 40 by 50 if possible. Have room for a tool room and a decent office space. The cow hood gasket is open on one side towards the front or windshield. 76C10.
It's going to be towards the windshield. The seal is going to be towards the windshield, but it's going to be before the actual vents holes in the hood. So it's going to actually be on the firewall. Okay, I'm wrong. It's going to be on the firewall towards the front lip of the firewall. That's where the seal is going to be, because it's going to, because of the heater system, it's going to want to pull air from the grates in the backside of the hood itself. So it's going to be in front of, next to the line is going to be on the firewall in the front.
And the gentleman was asking about the 4-speed. He says, I have 3 of them to redo, and they're hard to find.
They're very hard to find. I mean, and the honest truth is, like, the honest truth with this today's market and everything like it is, I mean, like, I'm having a hard time just finding the front alignment on this truck because it's so old. Okay. A lot of the shops don't even want to touch it because it's not strut related with shims. Same thing with transmissions. I mean, the days of the standard are almost over because nobody learns how to drive a standard anymore. I took my driving tests in a standard. You know, a lot of my friends took driving tests. I mean, 3 on the tree standards, that sort of thing. I mean, but the skill to rebuild a gearbox, like a 4-speed gearbox or even a 3-speed gearbox, the skill is involved that is become a lost art. I mean, there's some guys out there that I would love to learn. I mean, even though I'm 56, I'm still thinking about, I want to learn how to TIG. I've been MIG welding and stick welding my whole life, but I've never held a TIG welder in my hand. And I have a Votech that's 20 minutes down the road, and I'm thinking about taking some night classes to learn how to TIG because, I mean, it's just so much cleaner, so much stronger, and so much better, you know, but it's just something I never learned. Again, with rebuilding transmissions, I've done it a couple of times with help with somebody over my shoulder, but I've never actually just done it by myself. It's one of those things that I would love to do a video, a really detailed video on how to do it, because that's the whole part of doing all of this is just continuing on the tradition of hot rod, and rebuilding a standard transmission with standard tranny would be the way to go.
It says that I'm having the same problem, but I have a lot of parts.
Same problem of what? Which one is that?
4-speed.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Lots of parts.
TIG is a different cat. I'm a welder and a junk person.
Yeah, I've been I was a CWI. I was a certified welding inspector for 9 years. I mean, I took the tests and everything, and I got certified worldwide. But it isn't what I wanted to do. I enjoy fabricating. I really enjoy fabricating and fixing problems and coming up against the wall and figuring out, okay, something needs to be fixed, and being able to fab brackets and pieces and bits and weld and grind and make things up. That's the fun stuff. That's what I truly, in my heart, enjoy doing. Fixing problems, finding something that needs to be fixed and doing it. That's a lot of fun to me. I mean, it was never fun for me to look at somebody else's weld and say, okay, that's good, that's bad. That's undercut, that's got porosity, take the reader in and do the ultrasound on it and see if it's got any inclusion in it or whatever, That wasn't what I signed up for. I wanted to build shit. And at the bridge company, I built stuff, and I went over 1,000 x-rays, sub-arcing over 1,000 x-rays without a mistake. So I was 100% for 5 years of splicing and welding big chunks together, sub-arc, and then CWI and being a QC and everything. But I much preferred fabricating. It's always been my jam. Fabricating and making it work and dealing with what you got and making it work. That's always been the most fulfilling part for me.
Buy a TIG welder, teach yourself. You taught how to rebuild a 350 oil.
Well, I got taught how to build a 350. I mean, I read a lot of books. I was reading Hot Rod when I was 6 years old. Popular Hot Rod and Carcraft, all that biz. And I knew the basics of it, but I've never been a read it and learn how to do it kind of guy. I've always been, let me put my hands on it and figure it out. I'll get it figured out. That's always been my thing. I've never been able to read and learn. I'm hands-on. But if you read about it enough and then you do it and then things start clicking and then you go, oh yeah, I know about this. I know how to do this. And as you go, you learn as you go.
Chris says, I make something out of nothing.
Yeah, that's all part of fabrication. I've got a big pile of steel plates and brackets and bits and pieces sitting underneath that counter that whenever I need something, I got my welder turned on, I got my grinder set up and my cutoff wheels and my vise, and I can make anything. I can make any bracket I need for whatever I'm building.
Do you all Chevy stuff?
Well, Miss Christina's Mustang gonna be my first Ford in a long time now. I had a Ford F100 whenever we first got married. Her dad gave it to us, and that truck had a 390 in it, a FE motor, and it was running on. It had a dead cylinder. It ran on 7 cylinders for 8 years of me driving it back and forth to work, and I drove, and that truck. Now, there wasn't nothing wrong with the truck. Everything on that truck worked, including the cargo light on that truck worked. I mean, her dad gave us like a working truck. Transmission never gave a lick. Even on 7 cylinders, that truck ran. It was Timex. It started every time I started it, and it had no air conditioning, and she was no power steering, and she was very pregnant when we got that truck. And I happened to have a little Pontiac Sunbird convertible, and so she ended up driving it, and I drove that truck to work, back and forth to work forever. But we were carpooling. There was 3 of us, me and Rob and John. We were running back and forth from Salsa to Van Buren every day, like clockwork. I got nothing against Ford trucks. The 60s and 70s Ford trucks, they're built Ford tough. I mean, that truck was Timex. I got nothing against Ford, but I just know Chevys. But I had to learn FE engines, 390s, yeah.
Chris says I have a lot of different kinds of cars and trucks.
Yeah, but that was what makes it fun. I mean, are some of them running and some of them not? They're projects and they're fun. I mean, I don't hunt or fish anymore. This is what I do. Okay, I hate to say it this way because she's sitting right there, but it's a way to get some quiet time and some downtime from all week long of working and doing what you could do as a dad, a father, a grandfather, whatever it is, to just get out in the garage, put your head down, and just get something done and get that fulfillment of, okay, I just did that. It doesn't matter whether you're Ford, Chevy, Dodge, Nissan, whatever the hell it is. Okay. The car community, everybody knows what I'm talking about. That we do this because we love it, because it gives us a time to defrag. Because guys' brains are wired different than women. We just need some downtime. We just need some quiet.
I don't think it's different. I don't enjoy it when you're out here.
She enjoys it. Okay, so because she gets downtime too when I'm out here doing what I do.
Yeah.
I'm aggravating right now tonight because OKC is playing, But that just goes to just right back to like this. I mean, the quality, I'm sorry, okay? Like the Milwaukee stuff, and I love DeWalt. I am DeWalt guy all day long, but I don't think after 50 years it's going to hold up. The production quality is just not there like it was for this. Okay, it's just not. This is old school and as good as it gets. I would rather have a toolbox full of old stuff like this than having to pack one new full of new stuff. I'm sorry. I got nothing against Harbor Freight. I got nothing against Milwaukee. I got nothing against Craftsman. I got nothing against them. But they're not producing things like this anymore. They're just not. Their stuff is not going to be around for 50 years, because when they built this, they weren't thinking about, well, in 10 years, we're going to do a new version because it needs to be replaced. Putting, what do they call it? Programmed life into tools. My son is working as a mechanic now, and he's breaking tools left and right. He's got all Icon stuff from Harbor Freight. And like I said, I got nothing against Harbor Freight, but he's having to replace ratchets and shit because he's using it professionally every day. Okay. And he doesn't have right now, he doesn't have the bankroll to buy new tools. Okay. He's just starting out. Okay. And so he can't afford to have the Snap-on truck or the Milwaukee truck or the whatever truck, Mack truck show up. He can't afford to spend 50 grand on a new toolbox full of tools. He can't afford it. Okay.
Who can?
Yeah. Who can? Exactly. You know, so, I mean, one of my best ratchets in my toolbox right now is a Workman's Choice that I bought when I was 18 years old at Walmart. And it has lasted all these years. Even like I used it with a cheater bar to break head bolts and everything loose, and it's still going. Okay. That's the difference between 40 years ago and now. You can't tell me that no matter what proto, whatever it is, Craftsman, whatever it is, that 40 years from now, that same ratchet is going to be running and going to be able to take a cheater bar to break things loose. I mean, I'm sorry. It just, the craftsmanship and the quality is just not there now like it used to be. So I would rather go yard selling and find old tools because I know they're going to last.
John said he went to a yard sale and bought an old toolbox full of tools, better than anything you can buy at a store.
Exactly. Like I said, the older gentleman that lives up the street from us, and he was just like, he's walking around with a walker and stuff, and he was having a yard sale, and I bought everything he had. I mean, like I said, even the motor, the buffer wheel that I have, it's a Baldor that he used to work at Baldor years ago. Okay, so it's 50 years old, and it runs as smooth today as it did ever. Like I said, I'm just not convinced that the quality of the products now are like they were 50, 60, 70 years ago. You're better off going to yard sale and just finding old tools. It's the only way to go. You can't convince me that anything that's produced now, whether it's the top of the line from Harbor Freight or it's Proto or it's Craftsman or it's whatever it is, whatever brand it is, that they're still going to be running 50 years from now and be just as good then 50 years from now as they are now. You know, I mean, all I'm saying is that if you're going to go through Harbor Freight, you make sure and get that lifetime warranty on everything. So that if something breaks, you can get a new one, which I've had to take stuff back for Kenny to Harbor Freight for him because he's broke them. And we're in town every Saturday, so I drive right by it every Saturday. So I go in and I get him swapped out, get him new shit. But I mean, it's just not the same market as it was. Right?
What year Mustang do I have?
Hers is a 66. It's a 66 coupe. Original a V6 straight 6 car, but we're going to put a V8 in it. I think we're going to retro a 302 into it. But again, I need to get it up in air so I can get the underside scrubbed to make sure it's coated and it's, to save it. And I'm hoping to have, by the time I get this one done, I'm hoping to have the shop up so that I can get it on a lift and get up underneath it and get the wire wheel to it and clean everything up and make sure everything is like it should be. And then I'm thinking probably a roller cam 302 with a little intake and a little carburetor and some headers and some nice little exhaust, disc front brakes, you know, and just automatic C4, and just let her enjoy it. Just like I want to do with this one. Just enjoy it. Just start it up and just drive it around and just get everybody to notice it. I'm looking forward to the first day she drives it to work. Well, might not be driving it to work because she's coming home to work. She's gonna be doing it, working at home. So on the weekends, when we go shopping on Saturday, you know, we might be filling the trunk up with groceries. But you know, just to get her the eyeballs, and it's gonna be great content for because I'm gonna learn along with everybody else of how to do things when it comes to Mustangs. Because it's my first one. I rode in, like, if you guys know the story, I was 5 years old, and my first hot rod experience was in a 66 Mustang that the neighbor had, and driving me and my sister to the lake. Yeah, that's what got me on my journey. But I just, like, my first car was a Dart, a 69 Dart, Dodge Dart. And I only had it for 2 weeks, and I wrecked it and just ruined it. And so my next car was a Monte Carlo, and that's what made me turn into a Chevy guy, was the Monte Carlo. And I had it for 9 years, the Beast. It was fond memories.
What do you think the best power adder is for a 350 or a 388?
Nitrous. Bottom, I mean, it's the cheapest horsepower out there. A little 125 kit. You on a 350, a 125 kit is nice. But on a 383, 125 kit is, because it's already producing a huge amount of torque because of the ratio on the crankshaft and the pistons and everything. It makes a 383 come alive like nothing else. And it's cheap, and it's reusable, and it's on demand. You can basically just, if you set it up right, you can prime it inside the carb, and if you spend the money on a valve opener, and then you can just pop it whenever you want, and it's the cheapest power adder there is out there still. And this day and age, when they first come out, they were problematic, but now they've got all the kinks worked out, and they're great. Nitrous kits are great right now.
Chris says, I drove a lot of Mustangs and older Dodge Power Wagons and old square bodies too.
Power wagons are like, I had a neighbor that he had a little red wagon truck, and he's a Dodge guy, true and true. He had a Stealth, and he was a chiropractor, and Jimmy was Dodge all the way. And I had a friend in Votech, Clifford, and he was building Cudas and Challengers and Chargers from bits and pieces in high school. I mean, this is in the mid 80s before they really got popular, and they were everywhere. And he was all the way Dodge guy. He had 440. He had a Cuda with a 440, and it wasn't pretty, but man, it was quick, and it was Haas, and Clifford was cool. Clifford was a lot of fun. I haven't seen him since high school, but he was great. I mean, he lived in Muldrow, and yeah, a lot of fun. He was a good guy. Good people. I'm thinking about, okay, see, my heart when it comes, I love square bodies, okay, but my heart when it comes to it is rubber nose second gen Camaros, 78 through 81s. Those are my jam. I mean, I had one, I've had several over the years, and they're my favorite. They're my absolute favorite. I want to build something to go to the racetrack with, but I know aerodynamically a Chevy truck is like a brick, and a Camaro is aerodynamically better, and you can get the weight down and everything with them if you do some certain things. Um, I want to, if you guys had the money and had the ability to do it, would you guys run a square body, a 68 to 72? Would you do a Chevelle? Would you do a Camaro? A second gen. I'm not talking about the first gen because, you know, they are untouchable right now because they're expensive. Everybody wants, you know, more.
What's quick to you?
Huh?
What's quick to you?
Quick.
Quick. What is quick to you?
Quick.
What it says? Hey, what's quick to you?
I don't understand. Expand a little bit. Tell me what you're asking. What is quick to me?
Chris says, where are you guys located at?
Muldrow, Oklahoma, right on the Arkansas-Oklahoma line. She works in Arkansas. I work in Oklahoma.
If you remember, Buki had one of the only nitrous cars in Salsa in '86.
Yes.
The blue '66
El Camino.
Small block 400.
Yeah, it was tough. It was cool. That was cool. I can't remember what was it. Was the super shops that you went to Oklahoma City and bought parts in? I mean, he went and dropped dime back in the day, and he bought this and that and everything and built that engine, and that was a cool car. That was a real car. It had was it a star shifter that was in it? A ratchet, you know, a ratchet shifter, and it had a cowl induction hood on it. And
Speed Equipment World
Speed-
in Fayetteville.
Speed Equipment World, that's right. In Fayetteville? They had one in Fayetteville? Because we had one in Fort Smith. Oh, that's another thing if I ever get big enough, I'm opening a speed shop. I mean, actual open the door, you know, sell parts out of speed shop and build stuff in the backside. I mean, it's becoming a thing of the past. But the funny part is that the older stuff is becoming really popular. I mean, the small block Chevys, the big block Chevys. I mean, I know everybody wants to LS everything, but I mean, really, the old school, how to make it work, how to make it fast, how to make it powerful, and it's really coming back. I mean, it really is. And I mean, Uncle Buck's Speed Shop might be in the future. That would be cool. Who is that? John Crawford. John, I can't express how thankful I am. That was so cool. That was so cool. I mean, people don't realize how much this stuff costs. I mean, from the bottom of my heart, from the bottom of Christina's heart, I appreciated it so much. That was completely awesome. You know, you're the first. You're the first to give me a gift. And I tell you what, message me, since you're the first, tell me your t-shirt size, get on my email, tell me your t-shirt size, tell me what your address is, and I'll send you a t-shirt. Or would you rather have a hat?
Quick, what's a fast 1/8 mile?
Fast 8th mile? Right now, we ran, okay. So Uncle Mike Clark had that tube chassis car, and he run 630s in the 1,000 foot, which is about 530s in the 600 in a quarter mile, in an 8th mile. So, and that's a full blown chassis car. Street car for 660, I would say if you could possibly make a street car do a 130, 140, 60 foot, then run for 8th mile, and then run just straight up sixes for a street car, just 6.0. or the 8th mile, that's a really fast street car. If you're running a hard tire, no slicks and everything, that's really fast. Right now, the 8th mile, the big guys, I mean, like Ryan Martin, Fireball, all the guys that Beater Bomb, all those guys, they're running 6:36. I mean, 5:30s, 5:20s in the 8th mile, and that's full tube, full blown race car. So if you could run 650s or better on street tires, that's freaking moving. That's fast. Okay, and uh, I run quarter mile a lot, and I run 10 O's, and for 1,000 foot I run 7. Oh, we reached these for 1,000 foot bracket racing, and that was a big block, low compression, and a Dominator intake. I mean a Team G intake with a 750 double pumper and 3,000 stall, and we were running 730s in a quarter mile. No, I'm sorry, we were running 730s in 1,000 foot, and we were running 10 somethings, 10 low 10s in the quarter mile. And man, what did we beat on that car for 6 years? We bracket raced that car for 6 years, never had to turn a wrench on it, and it's still running today. It's still doing great.
You have a lot of junkyards down there?
Got 2 big ones right on the border. Russell's and I can't remember the other one, but no, we got 2 huge ones on the Oklahoma side. Come over the bridge out of Fort Smith, and there's one that runs a little bit north, and one's run in Moffett, Oklahoma, and that one's big. Robert Salvage. I mean, it's huge. Yeah, so I got to pick you apart 10 minutes away, and I got 2 big, huge salvage yards 10 minutes away. But I haven't had to. I still got 2 engines, 3 transmissions, sets of heads. I mean, I got parts that I've been holding back for a long time, which I'm glad I did now, because I mean, I got tins and pans and brackets and pulleys and all kinds of stuff that I've got enough stuff to build 2 more engines plus without having to go to the salvage yard. I will tell you one thing that has happened. I mean, everybody, you guys out there that are like LS guys, is that they've quit pulling them and wrapping them up and putting them on a pallet. They're all in the pick park now because people have went on to different things. The Coyote engines and the Hemis and stuff. The LSs, they're just not pulling them and crating them up for quick sale anymore. They're going in the pick apart. So the industry is changing a little bit.
Dylan says 10s are fast for me in a quarter.
So, I mean, are you having fun? That's what drag racing is all about, especially if you're bracket racing. It's about having fun. It's about being a part of the tribe. I mean, bracket racing guys are, I mean, you might be running against the guy the next round, but if you need a fuse, if you need some wire fix, if you need a part, if you need some plugs, they'll help you. That was one of the most amazing thing that I thought about bracket racing was that once you made friends and they knew you were stand up and they knew you were showing, if you needed something, yeah, I got it. More than happy to help. Just, we're going to race and I'm going to do my best to beat you, but I'll give you whatever you need to get you on the track so that I don't get this forfeit. I mean, that was the amazing part about the community when it comes to racing, is that they'll come to your aid. They would rather have a good heads up run as opposed to just taking a win, and having a forfeit. I mean, that's the fun part. You practice all week long, you work all week long or all month long, whatever, to get to that race, and you just want to race. You don't want to just tool down the road, blah, 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 and just take a win. You want to run. You want to race. And the funny part is I'm still friends to those guys to this day. I still have friends on Facebook, and when I go to Centerville or Salisaw and go to the track, I still run into them. Guys I knew from 30 years ago, and it's like we never not seen each other. It's it's terrific. It really is terrific, and that's across the board, whether it's boats or dirt racing or work, going around circles, whatever it is. It's the racing community. They'll stand up for each other. They'll help each other out, and that was one of the most fun things and nice things about being on a circuit for 6 years of bracket racing, which we never did win much, but I mean, it was the same people every weekend. It was, and if you needed something, all you had to do was ask, or they would help come up and, find out if you need anything in between rounds. If they had heard through the pits you were having troubles. Do we have a question?
John says, I've only went to the track twice, but backroad racing, I've had more fun. Ernest Salvage up here by Luki was one of the last ones
Ernest.
that I've had, 80s and early stuff, but sadly it's been closed up several years.
Ernest Poindexter, yeah. I mean, I wonder Buki is Junior still around, because Ernest was a good guy. He really was. He was stand up. But like I said, we all get older and things happen. But yeah, Ernest was great. Ernest was stand up. What was the name of the salvage yard Ernest worked at? Right up from the taco ranch that closed up, and then he opened his own place. I can't remember the name of the salvage yard that was off of 59 right there, because we lived in a little house next to Taco Ranch, and he once asked me to watch the fields because people were going in there in the middle of the night and stealing parts. I can't remember the name of the guy that owned that, but I must have been 12.
Awesome Savage.
There you go. Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, that, and Ernest worked for him, and then once he closed up because he retired out, he opened his own place about 5 miles down the road from there. Yeah. I remember that. Yeah, I lived right next to him, next door. I mean, throw a rock. I was right there.
Let's see. Mighty Thor's says hello, new to the show.
Well, hello. I'm glad you're here. Do you have any questions?
And then Chris says they have a few of the parts there.
Yeah, and that's the kind of the way they're going now. The picket part is a big money generator for them, because they don't really have to do nothing besides pull batteries and bust down gas tanks, and they could just put them out there and just have somebody else go in there and do all the work and just come out and get paid for what they pull. It's a big money generator. It's the way that salvage yards are going. And I don't mind doing it either, because I mean, every once in a while you can go by and you can find something really cool, like a big block and a turbo 400 sitting in an old dump truck, shit like that. Yeah, no, it can be a good worthwhile trip. Now here in the South, I don't suggest doing it during the summer because of snakes and critters and bugs and all that kind of good business. Now during the wintertime, when it's dry, yeah, it's a great place to go. If it's not raining or snowing, because all the bugs and the critters and everything, they're all in hibernation, and you ain't got to worry about stepping on them. Because the ones that we have sit next to the Arkansas River, so there's a lot of critters involved.
What are your thoughts on cash for clunkers?
I hate it.
Well.
I hate it. I absolutely freaking hate it. Okay. I'll pay your cash for clunkers. If it's a 50s, 60s, or 70s car, I'd pay it. I mean, I think it's one of the worst things they ever come up with. I really do. I really, really, really do. And the other thing I hate that they come up with is that, like, up in Northwest Arkansas and Tulsa and Oklahoma City, there's right now citations for old cars sitting in backyards and front yards and shit. I think that's the worst thing that ever happened. I've benefited from doing that. I've made midnight trips up to Fayetteville, an hour away, and picked up Camaros and Firebirds and stuff out of backyards because the city was coming to get them the next day and to scrap them because they're an eyesore. People just don't know that that's a part of history that I'm trying to keep alive by taking the old stuff and making it better than it was before. Okay, I don't believe in the buybacks. I don't believe in the city municipalities forcing people to get rid of their projects. I really don't like it. I think it's effed up. I really do. I'm trying to be nice, family friendly, but I mean, it's just sticks in my craw. It really does. I think it's the worst thing that ever happened. Worst idea ever.
Cash for clunkers, we lost a lot of good cars and trucks.
Absolutely. Just like I was saying, we lost a ton of great refurbishable vehicles, that we can't get back now. That's why, I mean, I don't think I'll ever own a new car. Now Christina's different. Now, women are different. They like getting in it, turn the key, everything works, and just turn it and go. But I'm going to get this thing done this summer, and I'm going to drive it this fall, winter, and spring, and probably put it up during the winter when it's hot as hell because they got no air conditioning. But I can't see myself buying a new vehicle. I just can't. It's just not in me. I'll do it because I have to live with Miss Christina. But she's also going to have her project, her fair weather friend here. So I think with her 2013 Edge, I think we can make it last for a while before we don't have to pull that trigger. But I can't see myself ever. I can't see myself ever spending the money for a new pickup truck. Not going to happen. They're just not built. They're just not. The quality isn't there. It's just not. Not for the amount of money. I mean, there's trucks out there that are more than I owe on my home, on my house, on this property. It don't make any sense. What else we got? None? Time is it?
9:01.
Been an hour already? We've been an hour already? All right. Then we're going to call it a day because we want to get back in and watch. We are Oklahoma tried and true. We are upset because the softball girls got kicked out of the playoffs. But we got Oklahoma City playing right now against who?
Indiana Pacers.
The Pacers. Okay. So we're going to go back in there and watch the game. But I appreciate all of you guys here. I really appreciate the help, the gifts. That's so cool. Like I said, I did start up a new GoFundMe link because we got to build, and then after that, the possibilities are endless. We're going to get big. I had a little bit of an epiphany the other day. I think if I can get a couple of teenagers around the area and get them in the shop and get them hands-on and everything and pay them a couple of ducats, I think Uncle Buck's University teaching the younger ones how to do it might be happening in the future. I really think I'm feeling the need to pass on and teach a younger generation, and possibly John and Wyatt, but I mean they're 1 and 2, But I mean, I've got several teenagers live around the area that I think would enjoy learning how to build hot rods.
Ricky says my three vehicles: a 47, a 77 and a 95, and my wife's is a 24.
Yeah. See, I mean, that's how we live. You know, and the wife is a 24. Yeah. And sooner or later, Christina will get her new car, and I'll bite the bullet and pay that freaking payment, you know, because she's just, you know, but I can guarantee you she's been driving a Mustang for a bunch, a lot, because she's really looking forward to it. But, and she agreed, you're not going to believe this, she agreed to get out here and get dirty with me. You did. Because if it's going to be hers, she's got to put in a little bit of work. Okay.
Yeah, you didn't say how much work.
You're going to put in work. You know, now that my son has his own home and my daughter is about to buy their first home, and it's just me and Christina. Yeah, she's bored in the evenings. She's going to start helping out. There's only so much. There's only so much Ted Lasso and OKC, you know, Thunder that you can watch. So, y'all have a great evening. It was a lot of fun. I really appreciate every single one of you, everything you guys have done for me, all you guys hanging around all these years of doing this. It's only going to get bigger and better. I don't know how else to say it besides thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. So you guys have a great night, and we're going to watch the Thunder and see if we can get a first win out of 7, you know. So it's been an hour, so I'm curious how they're doing. I'm pretty sure it's halftime, but you all be good. Bye.